back again with one last Resident Evil double feature. This time, it's Retribution and the final chapter. So we last left Alice and the Redfields on the Arcadia freighter as Umbrella attacked, led by a brainwashed Jill Valentine. As fighting commenced, Alice manages to kill some of the Umbrella soldiers, but ends up getting blasted into the ocean. All of a sudden, we see Alice, well, I guess it's Alice, wake up in what looks like Raccoon City during the T-Virus outbreak, with Carlos as her husband and their young daughter. Okay. They get ambushed by zombies and Carlos gets killed. They get picked up by Rain, who's just a regular chick in the suburbs. So, what the hell's happening here? Is this like a flashback or something? Their vehicle gets hit and flips, leaving Alice and her daughter to hide out in another house. Out of nowhere, Carlos finds them and kills Alice. Alright. So from there, Alice wakes up, again, in another Umbrella facility, where Jill is keeping watch. After hours and hours of a torturous siren going off, all of a sudden, the door is opened and Alice escapes. But how? She finds herself in the middle of Tokyo surrounded by zombies, and then fights her way down a hallway of even more zombies, where she does all these wild moves you would never even think to do in that situation. Alice is then greeted by Ada Wong, who is sent to help her, and finds out that Wesker is still alive and is the one behind her escape. Okay, that's questionable. Apparently, the Red Queen has taken back control of the Umbrella Corporation. So Wesker tells her that a strike team is en route to assist her escape, and that Luther West is on the team. With that being said, Alice and Ada head to the extraction point. They discover that the facility that they're in is an old Russian sub-pen converted into a cloning facility by Umbrella, where they use controlled outbreaks of the T-Virus as a simulation to sell the virus to other countries. Also, that answers that question, that other Alice and Carlos were clones. Meanwhile, the strike team, comprised of Leon Kennedy, Barry Burton, and Luther West, plant explosives around the entrance to the facility that are set for 2 hours. As Alice and Ada head into a New York simulation, they're ambushed by 2 executioners. As that's going on, the strike team reaches the Russian area and fights off these new zombies who are infected with the parasite called Las Plagas, making them more intelligent and indestructible. Alice finds the other Alice's daughter and decides to take her along. And just then, Jill and some soldiers attack, causing Ada and Alice to get separated. The soldiers are clones of people in previous films, like Carlos, Rain, and even James Shade. So after that, Alice meets up with the remaining strike team, and they get ambushed by a giant licker that kidnaps Alice's daughter. Once she kills it and gets her daughter back, Jill and the soldiers catch up to them and engage in a giant shootout. Barry gets killed just as the explosives detonate, flooding the facility. They barely make it to the surface and yet again are cut off by Jill, who this time has Ada as a hostage. As if that's not bad enough, Rain now has the Las Plagas parasite. As a battle ensues between Jill and Alice, Rain kills Luther. Alice manages to tear the scarab off of Jill's chest, freeing her of the mind control. But at this point, Rain is too powerful, and Alice shoots the ice under her feet, causing her to get mauled by a bunch of zombies. After that, Alice, Jill, Leon, and Ada join Wesker, who has now fortified the White House as they prepare for the final battle. And this is where the final chapter starts. We get a quick flashback of a scientist named James Marcus, the co-owner of Umbrella, who has a sick daughter named Alicia. She's dying from a disease called progeria, a rapid aging disease. Desperate to save her, he steals a vial of the T-Virus, which at this point was untested, and uses it on her. Then, his partner, Dr. Isaacs, this fucking guy, the other co-owner, has Wesker kill Marcus and he adopts Alicia, with her taking over her father's 50% of the company. Then, Alice wakes up in Washington, surrounded by the destroyed remains of the White House, leading us to believe that they lost the war and were betrayed by Wesker. Alice is confronted by the Red Queen, who was bad, but is now good. So wait a minute. Wesker was bad, and then acted good, but was really bad? And then the Red Queen was bad, but is good now? What the hell's happening here? The Red Queen tells her to go back to the Hive from the first movie, where an airborne antivirus was developed, so that they can kill off all the infection. Well, wait a minute, where the hell was this shit like 4 movies ago? So she sets off to Raccoon City. On the way, she gets attacked by Dr. Isaacs. Go figure. But no, not that one. Yes, this one, the religious Isaacs, which means the tyrant Isaacs was a clone. After a heated battle where Alice cuts off Isaac's hand, she reaches Raccoon City and meets back up with Claire, who is somehow alive and leading yet another group of survivors. Huh, so she just happened to pop up right in the city where Alice was going? Convenient. They fortify a facility that they're hiding out in, and Umbrella attacks, with a flaming catapult helping to take out the Umbrella soldiers and zombies. And then Alice and team head back into the hive through a maintenance tunnel, but one of them, Ruby Rose, gets sucked into a giant fan. It's pretty brutal. The Red Queen then shows Alice footage of Isaacs, who apparently is the head of Umbrella, planning to intentionally release the virus, causing the apocalypse, so that he and all the other Umbrella executives could rebuild the world afterward. So this whole time, the Hive actually housed the Umbrella executives underground in cryostasis pods. Who the hell would have thought of that? And yeah, that also means basically Isaacs and everyone else have been a clone this whole time. Well, except for Wesker. Wesker is just Wesker. Except for this situation, I don't know what's going on here. As they make their way to the main chamber, Alice is confronted by the real Isaacs, while Claire is subdued by Doc, an Umbrella spy posing as one of the survivors. And here's the real kicker. Then a pod opens up, revealing an elderly Alicia Marcus. And the bomb is dropped that Project Alice has been a clone of her this whole time. Then, knowing that the Red Queen cannot hurt an Umbrella member, Alicia fires Wesker, ending with the Red Queen dropping a door on his leg. Wait, really? After all this, he gets killed by a door on his leg? Claire kills Doc, and then Alice and Isaacs engage in Mortal Kombat one final time. Their fight takes them to the original laser hallway from the first movie. Alice blows Isaacs up with a grenade, and she heads to the surface with the antivirus as the hive explodes, killing Alicia Marcus in the blast. Up on the surface, Isaacs nearly kills Alice, but then is killed himself by the religious clone, who believes he's the real one. And then the religious one gets eaten by zombies accordingly. Alice then releases the antivirus, killing all the surrounding zombies and everything infected with the T-virus, including the superhuman part of herself. The Red Queen gifts Alice with Alicia's childhood memories, making her the real Alice, more or less. She gives her like this contact lens that Alicia made that has all of her childhood memories on it. So now she has all of her childhood memories and all of her memories as Project Alice, I guess. She then says that it'll take years for the antivirus to reach all the corners of the world, and she rides off into the sunset to rid the world of the rest of the infection. The end. Okay, so first of all, the Alice we all know is a clone of Alicia Marcus. So when she woke up naked in the shower in the first movie, that was literally like her first memory. Or at least being at that mansion was. She was cloned for that purpose. She never had a childhood, so giving her Alicia's childhood made her a complete person. She was the adult version of herself that Alicia could never become. Because, she went from being like a child to being an old-ass woman. So, yeah. And I like how they used Jill from Part 5 in the catsuit. That was pretty awesome. And, they finally included Leon, which was something. I mean, he wasn't RPD or anything, but it was better than this guy. And the whole misdirection that Wesker was the chairman, and then Isaacs was, it never truly got explained. So I don't know what was happening there, unless Wesker was just posing as the chairman, but who the hell really knows? All in all, it seemed like the final chapter kind of retconned the original movie's idea. So I don't know what Anderson was thinking, but apparently this guy shouldn't make movies anymore. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later.